Hey guys, this is EliGE here with my first tutorial type video, and this one is going to be all about note taking. And I know that it's kind of weird for a lot of gamers to be talking about note taking. People probably think they're in school, but it is probably one of the best things that you can do to have a more systematic approach to playing and improving. And I'm going to be showing a very easy way to organize it, and I personally use Evernote. You can use whatever note-taking app that you want. I know a lot of people like different things, but I'm going to show you how mine looks and how I like to do it and why I think that you should be using it. So to start off with, I want to say why I even started taking notes, and that was mainly because of my sports psychologist, Jared Tendler, that talked about having a specific type of process and keeping yourself accountable. And even some of the traders that I follow use Evernote, and I saw like how they set it up, and I thought that it was a pretty cool, easy way to get everything looking good and looking clean. And I think that it really helps trying not to play just to play, because I know that a lot of people, they'll just queue up into matchmaking or FPL or their scrims, and they'll just play blindly. They'll have some things that they're IGL, or maybe you are the IGL of your team, and they have some things that they want to work on, but there's a way better process that you can do to just organize that and make sure that you're actually trying to accomplish the goals that you're setting out. So some of the things that you can do on Evernote is keeping yourself accountable. You can be writing like a note every day where after you're done scrimming or you're done playing, you can just write the specific type of things that you learned, some of the things that you want to get better at. Maybe before the scrims, you write out some goals of the things that you want to get better at. Maybe you play B on Banana on Inferno and you want to practice a specific type of take or doing something a certain way that you don't normally do. And that way you're actually going to be learning something at the end of it, and you're not just going to be like, oh, remembering some random round, and you're going to be like, oh, I want to try this one thing that I saw. And you'll actually, bring it to practice beforehand, and then you'll tell your IGL that you want to do it, or you'll tell your team that you want to practice a certain thing, and then you'll have a really clear idea of if it works or if it doesn't by the end of it. And I'm going to actually show you some of the notes that I have and see kind of how they look and the things that you can do. So we're here, and this is my actual notes. I've taken these. This was on March 25th, and I actually really do like the capability of Evernote to be able to share links. So what you can do on Evernote is you can come up here, and whatever thing you have, you just press share, copy share URL, and that is actually even how I have this from my main Evernote. I can just share it with all my teammates. If I have something cool that I want to show them, I can just share it just like that. So I actually like having it a little bit more disorganized, because like I was saying before, the more that you do, the more you're inclined you're going to be to stop whenever you don't have the time. So I kind of just put it all in here. So I have like Nuke Molly, Inferno Angles, HE Nade, and Pope Smoke for my thing. So one of this is like a Molly that I saw Russ use to try to mess up the smokes outside. Another one is this crosshair placement that I saw him use. These are the types of things that I'm writing down. So when they're coming out, like he had a really sick 4K against them here. And I just put like underneath it what it actually is. And I saw Kerrigan throwing a nade when he was running down mid and landed right in Mexi and completely like destroyed a guy like jumping in it. And another smoke that I saw from him. So these are just really simple notes. And you saw how many different places there are here, right? So this is on Nuke, Inferno, a nade, and a smoke. So if we go back to Evernote here and you have all this stuff, then up here, well, we'll go to another thing. So if you have like Nuke, nades, Inferno, angle, then in the tags, you'll just put Nuke, Inferno, and then maybe like a flash, whatever. And you'll have this like name on this here. And if you see on the left here, it's red and blue, just showing like what maps you have here. And if you click on any of these tags, it'll click every single note that has this tag. You'll just click on this tag and you'll see all your Inferno notes. And then within that note, if you put, I don't know, something that you really wanted to remember, like the B execute on Inferno, or just like B execute, and you just want to like look at all the notes that are on Inferno here. But if you have like another like B execute, and then it just has other stuff, if you just go on Inferno and then you just only type the nodes that have, or I'll get rid of the BXQ just so it shows that it's not there. So it'll only show the ones that have the things that you write. So it's really helpful if you just write descriptions of everything that you have. If you want to be really specific, then it makes it really easy to find certain things later on when you don't know where they are or you forgot a certain nade. So I want to show another note that I have, and this is going to be specifically on Inferno, Vertigo, and Dust 2. So another cool thing that you can do is on these pictures that you just control paste into there, you can do little arrows and you can just show the crosshair placement exactly. So it's like from the middle here to the right here, and it's just a double nade that I saw Taco's team doing. So it can be really helpful for nade lineups if you saw it in a demo really quickly. Same thing here. Sometimes I like to just write the actual notes of what it is. So a smoke that RPK does on the sandbags at Vertigo. So smoke to play around the stairs. That's what it is. And something that I probably should have done is put it underneath here. And then when I want to search for it later, I can just quickly do it. But it's kind of just your preference of whatever you want to do. Probably even doing both is good. I kind of just remember these pretty quickly, so I didn't do too much with it. And same thing with this one on Dust 2, flash for lower to cat if I want to change it up. So this is the exact lineup for this flash from lower, and it's really easy to do that. And it's the same thing. Like with these notes, they're going to look super good, where as soon as I'm going to do like this template, I'm going to do new note, get rid of the general thing here because that's not what it is. And then I'll just put every single thing. Like it'll be on Dust 2, it's a flash. On Vertigo 2, I had another note in here. And it's super simple to do this. And you can take pictures of the game however you want. You can either print screen it, open up Paint, control paste into there. You can use Gyazo. You can use Windows Shift S, which is a snipping tool. And you'll just snip it just like Gyazo. You just control V into it. Super easy way to quickly do these notes. And it's a really good way to make yourself real organized too. And a really nice thing that people don't do is, let's say that you wanted to write down goals. So maybe you want to do like dates, right? Maybe you have here on the left, you have 2021. And then in 2021, you put today's date, which at the time is 4/26/2021. And it's your first scrims today, and you're playing on Inferno. So it's the 26th, and you want to do scrim journal. And then whatever it is, and then you want to do like Inferno goals, and you're playing on first time B, like I don't know, B ideas. So these are the things that you want to like work on. So practice taking banana with just 2, practice saving nades in sight, and to practice saving nades in sight, we'll need a third guy B to have him throw utility. And then where do you want to put the nades? Like I want to put the nades, I don't know, in save smoke for middle of the pillars at triple, coffins ready to flash for me. And you can just put whatever here, like it's whatever goals you have for whatever you want to practice. And maybe at the end of practice, you want to do the same thing where, how did it go? Like results, like I don't know, you can really do whatever. Did it work out? Like did you want to practice something different? B ideas not really working. I don't really know exactly what you want to put. You can organize this however you want. You can show exactly what you need to work on more. Did someone keep messing up a certain smoke and you want to just write it down, and then you have accountability for that person, and the next day in practice you can be like, hey dude, can you make sure that you practice this smoke? You kept missing it 2 times in the scrim. So it's just a really nice way to keep organized, and I think that a lot of players would really benefit from this. And I would give the tip of don't be too crazy in the beginning. Like I think putting nades, flashes, HE smokes, I know some people are really organized and they can do this. But to me, it's just like the gym where you're just going to have a New Year's resolution and you're going to start taking notes, and then you're just going to have no time one day and you're just not going to do it. I personally don't do a daily journal anymore. I think it was a little bit too much for me to do all the time. And sometimes I didn't have like 30 minutes to an hour to look back at the scrims and see every single little thing. but I do it sometimes, maybe even like every 2 or 3 days, or whenever I have to do match prep, whenever I look at demos. This is something that I do pretty frequently, and I think that it is just the quickest way that you can improve on your own game and be really efficient at it. When you open up Evernote, you're going to get a screen that looks just like this, and there's not really too much stuff that you do just to start it off. The first thing you do, just go to Tools, go to Options, and then under Note, just go to Note Font and press Arial for both of these, or whatever font that you like. Put it to 12, and then make sure that Create New Note in a new window is not checked. I think it's kind of annoying, but you can see if you like it or not. You press OK. And then over here on the left-hand side, you can just press out this arrow, and it'll say First Notebook. And you will right-click that, rename it, put it to CSGO. And then you will make a new note by going up here in the top left. Press New Note. And that is how you get started. After you make a new note at the top left here, we'll make a template first of all, just to not have to pay for it, but I do kind of recommend paying for like the premium version. I do personally because you can sync it across a lot of devices, and when I'm traveling a lot, I think it's a headache to kind of like unsync and unauthorize a device. So I just choose to pay for it, and I upload a lot onto it per month. But you can do this instead. So this is how I set up my notes. You go over here to Insert Table, then you go to 1 by 2, and then just stretch it out to the end here. Align it to center, and then I just put an X just so it stays, because whenever you do new notes, whatever formatting you do just kind of cancels if you don't have something there. And then here you'll do Control-Shift-B, and then it'll start off, and same thing, I just put a filler letter here. And then you can also customize it by going to this arrow here and changing the different colors. So I like doing like, I don't know, you can do like a dark gray, and then this one you can be like a gray, or this is green. Whoops. Sorry, colors are tough. So like a dark gray on top, gray. This is actually how mine looks all the time. And that is how my notes look. And then what you can do is you can just set this to template, and I'll show like what we can do with that afterwards. So on the left here, tags. This is like the most important thing for me for organization, and why I love Evernote so much is there's so much organization abilities that you can do on this. So we'll just start off, and we're going to do maps, and we're just going to start off putting a bunch of maps. And you'll just right click under maps, create tag in maps, and you'll just put all the maps. So when you're done writing out all the maps, it'll be looking like this on the left. And then you can make it look a little bit nicer, and this is all going to be for a reason, don't worry. So you can style it here and just make it look a little bit nicer however you want. And it'll be really cool when you see how this looks. When you're done putting all the colors on all the maps, it'll look something like this on the left. It'll just be a lot of colors on it, and it'll make it look really nice for these notes. So you can do like another tag, and you can just put general. So if you have some general things that you want to do, or I personally don't do this. These are the only tags that I use, but you can do a little bit more if you want, where you can put nades, and underneath the nades you can put, you know, HEs and flashes, smokes. But I personally think less is a little bit more when you're first getting started in note taking, because I think people get a little overwhelmed, or they think that they need to do everything completely perfectly the first time, and maybe they won't take a note, you know, maybe the 5th day. Maybe the first 4 days you were perfect, you had a lot of time, and you were able to put these really cool looking notes and everything's super organized looking. But other times you just aren't going to have that time, and then you'll be discouraged from taking notes, and then you'll eventually stop. It's basically how everyone stops going to the gym eventually when they do their New Year's resolution. So we'll go back to our only note that we have, which is just the template. And I'm going to just tag that under general for now. Or you can put it to template, whatever you want to do. This will be really helpful later, because every time you want to do a new note, you will just do Control A, and that'll select everything on this page. You'll press new note. and then you'll press Control V, and then you'll have it already. And as you saw here, when you do a new note, you can do the template thing, but that is only available if you have the premium version. So that is another new reason, but obviously you don't need to pay every month just to have a template button. Make sure that you guys do not touch the template one because it'll just make it really easy later. So I really hope that this helped. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe on the video. I'm going to be coming out with more tutorial type videos, and you can leave in the comments anything that you want me to go over or talk about more different topics. Thank you guys.